by a freelance writer for the New York Review of Books for Reiki Lukondo. Now, we have many highlights of the OPC dinner, but one of the most anticipated is always the light moment about serious subjects. In other words, cue the cartoonist. Please welcome the winner of the Thomas Nast Award, Nate Beeler of the Washington Examiner. He will entertain us with a slideshow of selected cartoons.
Well, thank you all very much. It's truly an honor and quite humbling for me to be here among so many intrepid and truly inspiring journalists. Your steady commitment, your intelligence, your drive for the truth help prevent the world beyond the borders from receding into the darkness of disregard. I certainly have a tough time doing my job if not for you. This award is a wonderful surprise. I'd like to thank my wife, Eve, and my family, and to my editors, Steve Smith and Mark Tapscott. I'm indebted to you for your savvy counsel and abounding patience. My newspaper, the Washington Examiner, is known for its local news and political coverage, and I still sometimes feel like that kid in the back of the classroom, doodling in the margins of his homework, hopelessly destined for detention. Now, instead of detention, I get a paycheck. I went to college to study to be a reporter, but after a while I realized it wasn't in my makeup. As a cartoonist, there are no IEDs to worry about, just the occasional exploding pen nib. Being embedded in a war zone, for me, is discussing a Sarah Palin cartoon in my editor's office. I'm lucky to have great freedom in the cartoon topics that I select, and the past year, both abroad and at home, has provided plenty of targets for ink slingers like me. This year was certainly the year of Twitter. After jumping on the bandwagon myself, I still think to this day, OMG, why does anyone care what I have to say? ROTFL, hashtag Justin Bieber. And there are birds flocking around a guy who is tweeting. He says, I knew my tweets would get somebody's attention. And everyone wants a Twitter, many in more than 140 characters, about President Obama's Nobel Peace Prize. It says, peace accomplished. And Barry, Barack Obama, is thinking to himself, just remember, Barry, this is all because you're not Bush. However, during the summer, the President gave us at least one reason to admire his diplomatic skills. It says, beer, and the man is saying, now there's something you can believe in. And the Olympic torch trekked to Vancouver, and the games inspired the athlete in all of us. It says, the sport of curling in the Olympics and in the United States. And he's tossing a cheese curl in the air. But farther south in Mexico, the games turn increasingly bloody. The man is labeled drug cartels and the Piñata of Mexico. And there are little skulls. This is a more serious cartoon, obviously. In the Caribbean, we've witnessed both incredible human tragedy and tremendous human compassion. First panel says, act of God, and the second, with Uncle Sam reaching his hand down into the rubble to another outstretched hand, it's labeled act of humanity. Meanwhile, in the U.S., the recession opened our eyes to our own angel of mercy. And the man says, in these hard economic times for America, we'd like to give thanks to the higher power that ever sustains us, China. And like the economy, American political discourse deteriorated. First panel says, stand up and be counted. Says, United States Census, what is your race? Mark 1, white, black, African American, Negro, American Indian. The next panel says, stand up and be discounted. Mark 1, socialist or racist. Luckily, a revolution is upon us, or so says Steve Jobs, bringing along with it a new way of life. Says iMac, iPod, iPhone, iPad, iBook. As a Mac user, this cartoon is very close to my heart. And finally, for the cartoon community, our own anxieties only multiply. Says at the bottom, as if we needed more humorless editors looking over our shoulders threatening cuts. That's an Islamic extremist scandal. And you see why I'm thankful for my editors. As a humble cartoonist, thank you again for this incredible honor.